Let's go around the league. Let's start with you. What do you want to talk about?
First of all, we're going to talk about all the great things that happen in the NFL. We're going to need to have a 2-hour show. But one of the things that stuck out in my mind was the individual performance of Cam Newton. And what I want to see in the future is how's he going to respond, because he answered a lot of critics in one game. You don't make yourself a quarterback in this NFL off one game, but it was a good positive start for him to throw for over 400 yards, have over 100 quarterback rating. But when it's all said and done, he lost his first game since junior college. So I want to see how is he going to respond. Is he going to take that loss to heart? Is he going to be upset, or is he going to be happy that he had a great individual performance? I want my quarterback to be mad anytime he loses, regardless of how many yards he throws for. And I hope the people surrounding him, those are the people that have to keep him in check. Instead of patting him on the back and saying, hey, you're the man, you've arrived, they need to say, you know what, you lost your first game. You're the quarterback. You lead the Carolina Panthers and you lost. They need to get in his head and make sure that he doesn't get satisfied, because if it does, he's going to have a short career in this league.
I think 422 yards, the most in NFL history for a first-time starting rookie quarterback. But what impressed me more, one interception. He threw the ball all those times and only had one interception. I don't care if you're his biggest fan. Nobody could have expected Cam Newton to have that kind of start. I think he's going to improve on it. I thought they'd be the worst team in the league now. No, there's a lot worse teams than him. And there's some good teams off to bad starts.
Oh, there's some real good teams off to bad starts. When you look at the Atlanta Falcons, that's a team that a lot of people are saying going to represent the NFC this year, and they just got blown out. Matt Ryan didn't look like Matt Ryan. I understand he was playing on grass and his record's much better on turf, but that team didn't look like they were going to represent the NFC. Kansas City, that's the team that won their division. They were blown out. They let Buffalo Bills put up 41 points at home. One of the hardest places that I had to play was in Kansas City, and for Buffalo to go in there, let's look at the positive real quick. They're saying we're not the same Buffalo Bills, but I was just surprised that Kansas City allow them to do that at home. There was just so many big surprises going on. And the biggest one was a team that was beat by a very good team, but I didn't expect them to ever show the way that they showed and have 7 turnovers in the Pittsburgh Steelers. Baltimore, they just owned them for the entire game. They had them commit 7 turnovers. They didn't look like the same Pittsburgh Steelers that we were used to seeing. I think they will bounce back, but those are 3 big surprises from good teams that I expected to open up the season a lot better than they did.
The Ravens talked the talk and walked the walk this time, but something I didn't like at all. What would you think about the Steelers' reaction to this? It's 27-7, and they went for 2 instead of kicking the extra point.
You know what that says? That says we really don't like you. This isn't just a media thing. This isn't something that we do to sell tickets before we play each other. We, the Baltimore Ravens, do not like the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we're going to try to rub your face in it. If you have a problem with it, stop it. When that happens, though, the tables could turn real quick, because Pittsburgh, they're going to see Baltimore again. And if Pittsburgh has the upper hand, you best believe that they're going to try to rub their nose in it also.
Good chance they're going to play 2 more times like they did last year. Now, 2 quarterbacks, 2 of the top quarterbacks, Tony Romo and Mark Sanchez, played Sunday night. Romo looked great, built the big lead, had his 4th quarter meltdown. A lot of people are saying Romo's a choker. A lot of Cowboy fans are upset because they've been spoiled through the decades going back to Don Meredith. What do you think about those 2 quarterbacks?
Well, when you look at that, I watched that entire game. I was very interested in that game, the outcome. And both of those quarterbacks, they looked good when there wasn't that much pressure in the game. If you want to be a big-time quarterback, you want to be considered the elite. You want to be considered the Tom Brady's, the Aaron Rodgers, the Drew Breeses of the current order. You have to do it when it counts. And I'm talking about in the 4th quarter when the game's on the line. Both those quarterbacks had a chance to put the game away in the 4th quarter. Tony Romo had 2 turnovers in the 4th quarter. And Sanchez just couldn't get it done with the drives to try to lead his team to make a comeback. The reason the Jets won was because of special teams and because of the entire team. And you want to win because of the team. But when you're talking about you have a great quarterback like Coach Ryan likes to say about his quarterback, and Romo, who wants to be one of the elite, you have to take advantage of leading your team in the 4th quarter. And I don't think either one of those quarterbacks have done it. They're good quarterbacks. They're above average. But to be considered elite, they're going to have to put together winning drives, winning comebacks in the 4th quarter when the pressure's on.
All I know about Mark Sanchez, he's been an AFC championship game his first 2 years in the league. And I know it's not just him, but he's a winner. Tony Romo, they can't say he's a winner. Now you're making a face because that Sanchez is their quarterback,
Right.
and they have been one step short of the Super Bowl 2 years in a row.
And I think, again, this is the ultimate team sport, but some teams are stronger than others. Mark Sanchez, he's a fine quarterback, but I can't say that he led his team to the AFC Championships. I think his team carried him to the AFC Championships.
Okay, now in the AFC South, you know who's tied with the Texans for first place? A team with Luke McCown at quarterback. Tennessee was driving, had a chance to set up the winning field goal. Matt Hasselbeck threw a really bad pass, intercepted down the field. They couldn't stop Jacksonville's running game. Are we going to see Jacksonville keep this up and the Titans keep this up, or is it kind of just some false impression after the first week?
I think most of the impressions after the first week are false impressions. You know, going back to what I was saying about Pittsburgh and Baltimore, I don't think Pittsburgh is that bad. It's a false impression to think that they're going to have 7 turnovers a game. Jacksonville, they had success running the ball. Well, when you have a good running back like MJD, you're going to pound out 98 to 100 yards a game. The question is, when you utilize that one running back as much as they've been, will he be healthy for the entire season? And that's where I have a question. I don't see him running and being as productive as he was this first game for the entire season. So, false impression, yes. Matt Hasselbeck, he's a good quarterback. He's in a new system. It's going to take him about 3 or 4 weeks to get comfortable with his receivers, with Kenny Britt, with Cook, the tight end, with his playmakers. When it's all said and done, Tennessee's going to be better than they showed. And Jacksonville, I think they're actually going to step back.
Before we go to your chalk talk, Kevin Cobb. Kevin threw for more than 300 yards. He also did not throw an interception. Looked great on throwing the ball, the 20-yarders, even threw a 70-yarder. What do you think about the start he had for Arizona?
I'm not surprised. You know, I'm one of the few guys that said this is a proven NFL quarterback, and everybody was asking me, well, how are you going to say he's proven? He's only started 6 or 7 games when he was with the Philadelphia Eagles. But what he did during that time, learning under Andy Reid, learning under Marty Morningwig, seeing how Michael Vick and Donovan McNabb carry themselves, I knew he was ready and primed to be the starter. I expect to see games like this from Kevin Cobb throughout this season, and he's going to end up a top-tier type, top 10, top 12 quarterback before this season's over.